So which one of Paradox Rift's top 10 chase cards has more than tripled in value just in the last 2 months? The answer might surprise you. It's been 5 months since Pokemon released the Paradox Rift set from the Scarlet and Violet era. People have been giving this set mixed reviews. Some people saying it's a very ordinary set, other people saying it's a great set. Today, I'm going to go ahead and examine the top 10 chase cards from Paradox Rift to see exactly what the raw prices are selling for, what the PSA 10 prices are selling for. Over the last 3 months, some of these chase cards have tanked in value, going down almost 50%, while others have surpassed all expectations and are up more than double and some almost triple. We're going to go ahead and examine the top 10 chase cards. This set has been on an absolute roller coaster ride, and then I'm going to go ahead and offer my opinion on if I think it's a bad set, a good set, an average set, and so on. Let's get straight into it. Stay tuned. So diving straight in with the 10th most expensive card from Paradox Rift is this Garchomp EX Special Illustration Rare. This card, 6 months ago, well 5 months ago when it was released, was selling for as high as, let's have a look, $41.99, $42. $42. Damn, down to $16.24. So well and truly more than halved in value in the last 5 months since its release. This is why it's a huge risk buying singles straight out the gate. Like, it's so predictable every time, almost every time. I'd say pretty much 99% of the time they just plummet straight out the gate. Why people buy singles when they first release? I guess if they rush in and get a PSA 10 grade in really quickly, they can make a big profit. But if they miss that window, these cards always crash. So anyway, that's the Garchomp. More than halved in value, sitting at $16.31. If we look at the PSA 10, sold recently for $93.50. These are all US dollars as usual, guys. So $93.50 for the PSA 10 in the Garchomp, 143 Australian dollars. So that's the 10th most expensive card from Paradox Rift. Next, the 9th most expensive card, we're at Professor Sada's Vitality Special Illustration Rare. 3 months ago, this card was $29, and now $18. So it's come off about a third. From its release 5 months ago, it was almost $40, $39, and down to $18.73 today. So again, since its release, this one's halved. Absolutely halved in value. Some of these cards are decent cards, and I'm not throwing shade at Paradox Rift. Most sets drop in value. The singles just drop in value. It's just a standard part of the hobby. But the fact that, hang on, let's switch back here. The fact that the 10th most expensive card is still $16 after halving in value, that's still a pretty solid set. So I think Paradox Rift is a pretty good set. So back to Sada's Vitality anyway. $18.73, down from 5 months ago from $39. 3 months ago this thing was $29. It's not a bad looking card actually, I don't mind it. In a PSA 10 you can buy it for $71. So I mean, there's not much profit margin there if you're buying singles to grade. There's not much profit margin at all. And if you like some of these cards, they're quite cheap, some of them, not all of them, but some of them are quite cheap in a PSA 10. So if there's any on this list as I'm going through that you think you quite like, I would say we'll do it case by case, one at a time, but some of them, just picking them up in a PSA 10 would be really good value. The 8th most expensive card on this list, and this one's really snuck into the top 10. This one is really shooting the lights out. Iron Hands has proven to be a really popular Pokemon. A lot of these cards have gone down in value. The Iron Hands is going the other way. The Iron Hands has gone up in value. Just 8 weeks ago, the first week of February, $6.09. 2 months ago, all the way up to $21, and now sitting at just under $20. So from $6 to $20, more than tripling in value, up more than 300% just in 8 weeks, guys. Just in 8 weeks. The Iron Hands EX really performing well. This thing recently sold in a PSA 10 for $50 US. It's $20 raw. grading costs are like $20 plus postage. Like, just get this in a PSA 10. In a PSA 10 at $50, that's a steal. If you like Iron Hands, if you like this card, I would say the PSA 10's a much better bet than just buying the card raw and risking getting a card that's maybe not in mint condition. So that's the Iron Hands EX, 8th most expensive card. The 7th most expensive card from Paradox Rift, $20.88. 3 months ago, $26. This is the Altaria EX, special illustration rare, and I would say most of them are going to be special illustration rares. To be honest, to be fair. So 3 months ago, $26. If I go back all the way to when this thing was released, 5 months ago, let's have a look. $29. What did I say for 3 months? $26 and down to $20. So again, this card's lost about a third of its value in the last few months. So there we go, guys. 10, 9, 8. What did I say? 7th most expensive card, the Altaria. In a PSA 10, sold recently for $75. So $20 to $75, you're paying $55 more for a PSA 10. If you like the Altaria and you like graded cards specifically, it's probably worth just picking up this in a PSA 10. If you're not big on having graded cards in your collection, that's fine. You can grab the single for just over $20. What I say, $20.88. The 6th most expensive card, the Groudon. This is a really nice card, actually. I quite like this Groudon. This Groudon illustration rare, selling for $22. Yeah, $22. To be fair, 3 months ago it was $25, $25.65. This hasn't gone down as much as some of the other cards. The Groudon down slightly, but holding up a little bit better than some of the others. And again, it's a beautiful card. I actually quite like this one. $22, you can pick this card up raw. In a PSA 10, selling for $113 US. About 170 odd dollars Australian dollars. 173 Australian dollars, 113 US in a PSA 10. Getting down to the top 5, the 5th most expensive card, old cheesehead here, the Gholdengo EX, special illustration rare, selling for $25.76. 3 months ago, $32. So it doesn't look good. That graph doesn't look good, but again, it's only down $7. It hasn't. Where are we? 32. Yeah, I mean, some of them, like I say, have gone down more than half their value. Some have gone down about a third. The Gholdengo hasn't gone down as much. But it is, if we go back a month, what's it doing over the last month? Yeah, it's still crashing. $32 down to $25 just in the space of a month. If you like this card, keep an eye on it. And I dare say you'll be able to pick up a few of these cards much cheaper than what they currently are. A lot of them have got no signs of slowing down on the way down. So Gholdengo, $24.77, and I think if you like this card, just wait a bit longer. It looks like it's going to keep going down. But in a PSA 10, $62. What did I say? $25 raw. $62 in a PSA 10. Again, if you're not into graded cards and you like this card, just grab the raw one. Not yet. I would wait. I would still wait. I think this thing's on the way down still. But in a PSA 10, $62. 95 Australian, 62 US. Keep an eye on it, and you might be able to pick it up really cheap in a PSA 10. In the next month or two. The 4th most expensive card, the Iron Hands EX. Now this card, $25.88. Back in February, what are we, like 2 months ago? This thing was $9.50. So again, this Iron Hands hasn't tripled in value, but it's almost tripled in value in 2 months. What's going on with Iron Hands? The Iron Hands cards in Paradox Rift are outperforming the Roaring Moon, the Iron Valiant, the Gholdengo. It's outperforming everything. Iron Hands is the boss. Iron Hands. 3 months ago, $11. At its release, to be fair, it was selling quite high at $40 straight out the gate. Plummeted all the way down. But ever since basically from 2 months ago. 2 months ago is really the key change, and this thing just started going bananas. So there you go. There's the Iron Hands EX. That's the second Iron Hands card that is really shooting up in price. In a PSA 10, this thing just sold US for $110, 168 Australian dollars. Yeah, damn. I mean, yeah, you're looking at paying sort of 4 times the value to get it in a PSA 10. So that might be worth, if you can find that in really good condition, mint condition raw, maybe just get it graded yourself, or just keep it in your album if you like that card. But Iron Hands, cleaning up. Iron Valiant EX. Now this is the third most expensive card, but this was the second most expensive card up until recently. $27. $27 you can pick this card up for now. $52 3 months ago. And it hit, $55 just under 3 months ago. This thing's basically halved. In the last 3 months, this thing's halved in value. Iron Valiant EX. What do I think about this one? I quite like this card. I do like this card. That's a pretty cheap card, $27. When you look at the price of a booster box, I guess about $100 US over here in Australia. We'll pay about $180 for a booster box when they first come out, when they first get released. So to pick up one of the top chase cards, raw for $27, I mean, that's a really cheap pickup for a top 3 chase card in a set. And it's a nice card. I'll probably pick this up myself, actually. What I say 3 months ago was, it's halved in value in 3 months, guys. Really poor performance. Maybe the pull rates aren't too bad. Maybe it's getting pulled a lot. But it's like I say, it's not uncommon for these cards to tank straight out the gate. $71 back in November. Wow. So about a month after the release date, this thing went from $50 up to $71. And $27. From $71 to $27. Pick it up if you like it. I mean, going back a month, it's down from $30 to $27. I mean, I don't know if these things going to keep dipping lower, but it's already cheap. If I bought it now and it went down another $5, would I lose sleep? No, it's a great card, very cheap. In a PSA 10, $96. Again, US dollars. Not too expensive in a PSA 10, about 150 Australian dollars. Really good pickup, guys, if you want to add it to your collection. Another Iron Hands. So you've got 3 Iron Hands in the top 10. In the top 10 chase cards from Paradox Rift. Now this Iron Hands, $31.30. 3 months ago was $29. It dipped down, and in about mid to late February, it started to bounce back from $20. It's gone up about a third. It's gone up about 30% in value. Just in the last sort of 6 weeks. About the last 6 weeks, it's gone up about a third in value. And we've seen from the other Iron Hands cards, they've been skyrocketing over the last couple of months. So all the Iron Hands pretty much have a similar trend, whereas the rest of these cards going downhill fast. So what does this sell for in a PSA 10? This is the second most expensive chase card in Paradox Rift. That wasn't always the case. It was the Iron Valiant before. So the Iron Hands is creeping in there. Really popular, obviously. Really popular character. Pokemon character. $133 US this sold for in a PSA 10. $204 Australian. So again, what did I say? Raw, $31. You're paying about, you're paying about over 4 times the price to get it in a PSA 10. I mean, with the way this thing's going up in value, maybe it's not a bad investment. But for myself, I don't really want to pay 4 times the price just because someone went and got it graded in a PSA 10. I'm looking for a bit better value than that. I'm not a massive fan of this card. I don't need it. I don't need this for my collection. I'm not going to be chasing it. But there you go. That's the Iron Hands EX. PSA 10, $133 US. The number 1 chase card, guys. The Roaring Moon EX. Going for $55. I mean, the set's 5 months old now. It is a very modern set. We've obviously got Temporal Forces that's come out now, and Twilight Masquerade's not far away. We've had Paldean Fates, which is a holiday set. So Roaring Moon, I mean, this card's really tanked. To have the number 1 chase card, be worth only $55. That's really sad, guys. That's really dismal. It was $114 back in the first week of November. $114 raw. That's a huge drop, guys. So this card as well, it's gone down more than half. It's just absolutely tanked. 3 months ago, $93, down to $55. A month ago, $61. So it's still on the decline. Only really for the last 2 weeks. It's sort of shown some steadiness. I don't know if it's plateauing or if it's going to have another drop, but that's really poor for the number 1 chase card. Overall, though, Paradox Rift is a bit of a strange set where you don't have that really expensive number 1 chase card. Some sets, maybe the chase card's $200-300, and then all the other cards are really cheap after that. But for the top 10 chase cards are all over $15, even after they've crashed in price, most of them. That's quite strong. Most sets don't have the top 10 chase cards being over $15. And like I say, most of these cards have gone down more than 50% of value, and the top 10 chase cards are still over $15. So I would say overall, even though the number 1 chase card is quite cheap, overall, Paradox Rift has got some depth. And I would say this is a decent set. So to the channels that are throwing shade at Paradox Rift, no offense, I'm not knocking those channels at all. I would never do that. But I think they may be misreading Paradox Rift just because of the single cards crashing. I think they're misreading the set overall. I will definitely 100% be getting Paradox Rift booster boxes into my collection. I'd be getting this over Obsidian Flames. I'd be getting this over Scarlet and Violet base. This is a really good set. Temporal Force is a bit too new. I'm not too sure how that's going to perform over the next few months, and I'm not going to make predictions on Temporal Forces. I'll review that as we go. Paradox Rift, definitely a good set to get in your collection. The PSA 10 for the Roaring Moon, $209 US, 320 Australian dollars. And again, myself, I won't be rushing out and buying this card graded or raw. The prices have just come down too far for me. I'm not comfortable with it. And again, it's not necessarily a card that I'm crazy about. It's a nice card, but I'm just not over the moon about Roaring Moon. No pun intended. So there you go. There's a top 10 chase cards for Paradox Rift. What are your thoughts on Paradox Rift? Do you guys think it's a good set? Are you happy with this set? The single card prices, they always crash. They always crash. I'm sure at some point these will start bouncing back. Keep an eye on Paradox Rift. I think it's a really good set so far as depth. It's got a lot of depth, guys. Like I say, there's not many sets that come out where the top 10 chase cards are over $15. So keep an eye on it. I think it would do well over the next couple of years. It's a bit early still, but long term, I think it'll be a good set. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. Give me your feedback. Thanks for supporting the chase card. Thanks for subscribing, and I'll see you next time on the chase card. Bye.